series. This video is going to talk about the 2022 Kia Sorento. We're going to compare it to the 2022 Kia Carnival, and we're going to help you decide which one is best for you. Now, these are, of course, commonly family vehicles, so I'm going to refer to family-type stuff. If you have things that you need to talk about, maybe they're business vehicles or something else, let me know in our live commentary what's going on and what you want to know about them. So here's how this works. In the next 3 minutes or so, if you're not live with us and you just want to see the content of this video, you can skip ahead if you want to the 3-minute mark. That'll be where we get into the content. In the meantime, we're going to talk about news, notes. We're going to talk about what's going on this month because there's a lot going on this month. And we'll also show you how to join us live. So let's do that really quickly right now. And we'll jump in over here. All right, if you want to join us live, you can go to our YouTube page, and normally it just kind of looks like this. You got a little video down here. If you refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock Eastern time, which is what we're doing right now, you're going to see that the page refreshes, and that video that we just showed you is gone, and the live video is sitting right there. So you're going to click into that video. You're going to have to watch a quick little ad for that. So while you're watching that ad, and I'm trying to skip it here, I'm going to run an ad for the dealers that support us. There we go, skip the ads. All right, so there are 3 dealers that support us: Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. All 3 of those dealers have a valet service for their service customers. What that means is if you have service with us, you can simply sit at home or your workplace, and we'll come get your vehicle, service it, and return it to your home or workplace as well. Some geographic limitations apply, but that's our ad. So Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai. If you're looking to buy a car, those are 3 dealers you can work with. And of course, if you want to buy a car in Ontario, there'll be a link in this description when the video is done. You can click that link, you can connect with me, and I'll connect you with our team, and they will treat you like family. All right, there, covered. That was pretty good for an ad for me, I think. I'm not very good at running these ads, guys. All right, so what's going on in November? November 1st today, 2021. LA Auto Show is this month. That is the North American Auto Show. It used to be the Detroit Auto Show was the big one. That one is, the LA one is the big one. I'm going there. So we're going to go there. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. And somebody is already going to get banned. Good for you. That was quick. Okay. All right, there we go. So real quick, we're going to the LA Auto Show. We're going to cover all the vehicles you want us to cover. A lot of you have been asking me about EV6 orders, all kinds of stuff, when the next stuff is coming out. So there's a lot of things coming on that there's Canadian dealer meetings happening next week. So a lot of the stuff that I don't know will probably be told to the dealers next week. And of course, that'll be filtered down to me and I'll be able to give you some information. So there's a little bit this week where sometimes I'm going to say I'm not sure because I know some of the information for sure is coming down next week and I want to make sure I'm accurate with that. All right, if you're a regular with us, there's a bunch of you on, just hit the like button right now for us. If you're not a regular with us, then make sure, I'll try to make sure I earn your like throughout this video. All right, there we go, 3 minutes already. Let's talk about these 2 vehicles. So lots to talk about here. The 2 I have behind me here are both 2022 models, and that's a little confusing for some because you may not have heard from your local dealer that the 2022 Sorento is out, and that's because it kind of isn't. The 2022 Sorento behind me is the PHEV model, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. That is a Korean-made vehicle, and we have it already. Some of the American-made Sorentos, which are the gasoline ones, we don't have yet. So for 2022, there are some differences here and there. And of course, the Carnival has been out for a while. Both of these vehicles are the only 2 vehicles I have to show you on the lot. Inventory is just weird right now in the automotive industry. It's hard to find, and that's probably why some of you are watching, because you can't see the vehicle you want in person, and we're going to do everything we can to show you what we can in real life. So somebody says, what trim is the Sorento? Good question. The Sorento we have here is the EX Plus PHEV model. This is the EX Plus Carnival. There is no PHEV model. So we're going to talk about some of these differences, some of the similarities. These are not, identical vehicles in any way, but they will give us a lot of answers as to which one works. I will be sitting in the 3rd row of this vehicle today. I'll be sitting in the 3rd row of that vehicle. I'm about 6 feet tall, so you'll get to see how roomy that is. We're going to talk about some features, some similarities, some differences, that kind of thing. Really quickly, let's just take a quick peek down at what we're actually looking at today. So Sorento PHEV EX Plus. 227 horsepower, so that is different than the 4-cylinder Sorento with 191 horsepower or the 4-cylinder turbo with 281 horsepower. It's kind of an in-between one in power, but you can see it's not so in-between in price. $50,595. Now, you do get a $2,500 government rebate with this vehicle, so that does come down a little bit, but you can see the fuel mileage on a PHEV is kind of insane, and these are actually attainable numbers. I've driven around and gotten these numbers. There are some asterisks around those as far as my video, so I'll give you that. And then of course the Carnival, the one we're looking at today, is the EX Plus model, and it is $45,595. And again, there's one trim above it on each of these vehicles. I will say though that the oh boy, what was I just gonna say? I will say the vehicles today both start at around $34,000, and they build themselves very differently up until that $50,000-ish mark that these are at now. So we're going to take a look at some of the things you get, some of the things you don't get, and hopefully this will be at least a starting point to help you decide which body style is best for you. And again, you know, there's a lot of differences within the range. If you like this body style, it starts at about $34,000. We'll talk about some of those features. If you like this body style, it also starts at $34,000. The difference is here you have 3 powertrain options. Like we said, the 4-cylinder 2.5 liter engine is the base engine. Then you go up to the 2.5 turbo, which is an absolute rocket. And in between that for horsepower is this one here, which is the PHEV. So Sorento, third row air conditioner. If you're asking country-specific questions, we're in Canada. I will film what we have here. Most of our stuff is very similar to the United States, so we'll talk about that as we go through the video. Give me some time to go through my content, and I'll probably answer a couple of your questions. But again, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. All right, so let's jump into the Sorento first. We're going to go driver's seat to driver's seat before we go to the passenger areas and just take an overall look. EX Plus models, again, second from the top model, so these are fairly well equipped. You'll notice every now and then there's some plastic pieces in there. Some of these still have the shipping plastic on them, so don't worry too much about some of that stuff. It's not a, full, it's not the way the trim is on this car. Key on this car, let's just show it to you. Even though it's a PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, it does have remote start on the side here. And of course, you've got lock, unlock, powered trunk, powered tailgate there, and the panic button. So that's a key fob that can just stay in your pocket, or you can drop it in the car here. We're going to turn this car to, actually, you know what? Let's just turn it fully on. We can do that because it can run on full electricity as well in here. If it does turn on the gas engine, then we will close it up. Or turn it off, excuse me. So we got, 36 kilometers of range. We're going to turn the climate system off for now, just to keep everything nice and quiet in here. And if I can zoom in, there we go. You can see that nice little electric range. So what is a PHEV really quickly? We've covered this vehicle in more detail in the past. So if you want to know more about this specific PHEV, check our other videos. You can just search our own channel, or search Kia Hyundai channel, and then whatever the vehicle. So Sorento PHEV, you'll have it. PHEV is a hybrid vehicle. So it runs on gas and electric combined that gets great fuel efficiency. What makes it different than a regular hybrid is you can plug this car in and get about 51 kilometers of pure electric range. That matters because that gives you some of the crazy efficiency numbers that we saw, like that 2 point something and 3 point something liters per 100 kilometers. When you run out of this range, that electric range, you still have a true hybrid. So some of these other competitors in the PHEV range, they're not really true hybrids. They actually get worse mileage than they would have if they just didn't have the PHEV system at all. This vehicle still gets around 7.1, 7.2, 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers on gasoline engine alone, which of course still blends the hybrid. So it's still better fuel efficiency than you would get on even the 4-cylinder base model, and of course better than the 4-cylinder turbo. Actually, the 4-cylinder turbo, this is where it gets confusing, has better highway mileage than the 4-cylinder non-turbo. So lots of things going on. You can look at the specs online. And again, subscribe to this channel if you want to know more, because we'll go through all these things in detail. But this particular vehicle is very good for efficiency, and that's why you're buying it. That's a primary reason to buy it. But it also has a lot of equipment. So again, regardless of which Sorento you buy, in this EX Plus version here, if I throw the car in reverse, oops, that's drive. If I throw it in reverse here, you got a nice big backup camera and you have parking sensors. Now we're going to show you a difference on the Carnival EX Plus, which would also be on the SX, where you have a 360 camera. So you have a bird's eye view camera system here instead of a bird's eye view sensor system here. So that's kind of nice to have here, but you do have some advantages. 10.25 inch screen here. It's going to look the same in the Carnival, but that Carnival has a 12.3 inch screen in the same spot. So these are our larger screens. If you got an 8-inch screen in this car at the lower level, you will have wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. And the very first question I'm going to get asked is, why do you get wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay on the 8-inch screen, but not on the larger screens? And that is a question I have submitted to Kia Canada in writing, and when they have an answer for me, they will give it to me. So good question. Stay tuned here. I'm not sure why. I've heard rumors that it could be a software upgrade away. I've heard rumors it may not be coming. So we're going to find out. When we find out the real answer, you will get the real answer here. This still has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, just not wireless. Coming down here, you've got an automatic climate control system, dual zone, of course, and it's actually a tri-zone of sorts. It has the rear AC there, which we'll show you when we get into the third row seats. A lot of glare you see with the camera. I don't have nearly that much glare problems with two eyes looking at it instead of the one eye of the camera. So that's just me excusing things, but it is true. Driver only mode is standard on this, and it can just set the air just to the driver, which can help with efficiency in a PHEV. Coming down here, you've got all the typical stuff. 3 USB ports, which is the way I think it should be. And you have down here if I could show it to you, come on, a little bit of light, not really a lot of light. Wireless charge pad right here. It is a ventilated charge pad, and that also means it can charge a little quicker. So that's kind of nice to have. Heated seats are here. Gear shift is this. On this one is a dial. On most of them, it's a lever. And then, of course, you have your drive modes. This is a big difference from the American ones. We have Eco, Sport, and Smart in our drive modes, but we also have terrain modes of snow, mud, and sand. So that's a kind of nice feature there to have those terrain modes there that you guys don't have in the United States. We do have in Canada. So we'll go back to the drive mode. We'll leave it on the Eco for now. Heated steering wheel is standard. All this typical hill descent control. There's your brake. This is EV, HEV. We'll talk about that in a different video. And then, of course, coming across here, you're going to see a pretty common thing on a lot of our cars. Actually, every Sorento has this now, which is a lane follow assist. If you don't know what lane follow assist is, it can see the lane markers on either side of the road and keep you centered in the middle. There's a lot of confusion about lane keeping assist and lane follow assist, and other manufacturers who have the same name but a different system. Kias and Hyundais is known as one of the best systems of keeping you centered in the lane, steering it. Very intuitive, very easy to drive. It works very well, and it's available across the full lineup of both these vehicles. Can you set the driver and second for you testing before? Yes, so I will set the seats up before I jump in the third seat, so we'll talk about that when we get there, which we will go there soon. So overall, you're dealing with a very well-equipped car. All these cars have LED headlights. These ones have smart cruise control. Your audio controls are over there. Everything's there. And again, a fairly nice dash. A lot of information in here. You can have navigation information in there. There's your lane follow, lane keep assist buttons. You have your driver attention level, tire pressure monitors on here, four-wheel drive system that shows you in a bar graph, engine temperature, just a speedometer. If that's what you want, it's just a speedometer in there. You can do that as well. So nice little gauge system in here. Again, you would have a tachometer in the vehicles without the PHEV system. All right, we're going to quickly go look at the driver's seat of the Carnival before we get into the real meat and potatoes of this review, where we talk about the real differences, which is the cargo area. So to me, if you're buying a vehicle, you should be most familiar with the driver's area because that's where you're gonna spend the most time. But of course, you also buy these vehicles for the passenger areas. So let's just take a look over here. All right, jumping in here, same type of thing, same seating exactly as far as the controls. Little different seats for sure, so make sure you sit in both of them, see which one you like the best. Big difference in this EX Plus, and this is again, Carnival EX Plus, not just the Carnival, is we can't turn it fully on because it's not an electric vehicle or electric gas mix. You've got this massive screen here. Now this doesn't show in on camera the way it does in person. But this is a 12.3 inch screen. So usually we have a 10 1/4 would be the largest ones you see in here. And same thing over here. Usually a 10 1/4 inch screen would be the largest one you see here. But you can see it is a 12.3. So very, very large screen. And Kia is starting to do this now where they have the kind of the single display look. You saw the new unveil of the new 2023 Kia Sportage, where it has a similar look to this. The EV6 is going to have a similar look to this. Massive screens, really good color and display, but really basically the same information you had in the other one. You've got a driver attention warning here. You've got your lane keeping assist, in there. Some of your efficiency modes, speedometer. You've got navigation, and there's your tire pressure monitors like we mentioned before. So a lot of the same information in here. One of the things I really like, though, is when we go into reverse, you see you have this bird's eye view. So now this is a true camera. So what I like is, I don't know if it'll do it when the car is off, but now that I'm in reverse, if I go to drive, there we go. It does show the camera in front of you as well when you're in drive. And you can see when I turn the wheel here, not only does it show you where the front wheels are going, but it'll show you where the back of the vehicle is going to swing. And if you've ever been through a drive-through and you want to be careful with things, that's a great camera system to have to just give you a sense of where the vehicle is going to be going. So really nice to have that. That system is available in the Sorento, excuse me, but only on the top trimline SX models. So that's PHEV SX, Hybrid SX, or regular gasoline SX. On the Carnival, it's the EX Plus and the SX. So kind of a nice screen to have there. And again, a lot of the same stuff. Actually, we'll show you the climate control really quickly here. Automatic climate control. There is a rear climate system here. So when we tap that rear climate system, you actually have the ability to go up here and see everything you need there. So let's just turn that on auto. So now we can go back and we'll just adjust that up or down. We can do what we want. And what I'm looking for is it to go back to the auto system. There we go. So we have tri-zone climate control. So let's just adjust that down. 19.5 on the right, 24 on the rear, 21 up there. Or you can sync them all together by hitting the sync button, which I'm looking through the camera. I should not do that. There we go. Sync button's right there. The other thing that's cool about the Carnival is you can't get this on the Sorento. This little button right there is a tungsten element within the windshield. I'll try to get it focused for you so you can sort of see it here. See those little squiggly lines on the right of my hand? It's focused on my hand so you can see those squiggly lines. Those squiggly lines are almost impossible to see. A tungsten element will defrost the entire windshield. No more windshield scraping anymore. So that's kind of a cool thing there. And it's a big windshield. Down here, identical to the Sorento, good faster charging wireless charge pad. You got the 3 USBs, automatic transmission here as well. So you have the traditional gear shift lever and a lot of the same controls. Heated seats, heated steering wheel on both cars. So all the same stuff there. So there's the basics in the front here. What we're going to do now is two things. We got 62 people on, so let's see if we can get to 65 likes today. We're about halfway there. We're at 27 likes, so around 30. Let's see if we can go to 60, 65 likes. I'm going to go back, take your early questions now, and then we're going to go middle row, back row, trunk space. We'll talk about lighting if you want to see that as well. And then there's a couple questions on here that I see, so I'll try to get to them when I can just see them again back on my computer. So do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button right now. Let's jump back in. The one thing I didn't show you in this yet was the key, and I just did want to show you that as well. Oops, come on, camera. Key for this vehicle is very similar. You still have the remote start here, but you have the power operating doors that you can open, power operating trunk and everything else. So same key exactly on the side here, but on this face here, you have this power opening doors as well. Lots of ways to open those doors in these vehicles. One thing that's kind of cool is this is a little cell phone slot right here, but you can also dump that key in there if that's what you wanted to do to hold it in there. Depends on what you want to do. All right. Instrumentation could be bigger. It would look better. I don't think we're watching the same video right now. The information on here, these 12.3 inch screens are massive. So when you say it could be bigger, I think you're maybe not talking about the same trim line I'm talking about. These are large instrumentation. So pretty good. All right, coming with me. And we're going to go over and take a look at the questions. Some of you I just see are asking some off-topic questions. We try to stay on topic till the 30-minute mark. After that, I'll answer the rest of your questions and go off topic. So just be aware that if I'm missing your question right now, it's just because some of those off-topic ones, we want to make sure that people watching after the fact are still seeing what they want to see. And if you're live with us, then I'll get to those in a second. So here we go. Somebody says a lot of the dash is not full. Somebody's got a lot of complaints about the instrumentation. Instrumentation is nearly all... The instrumentation in nearly all new vehicles is too generic. You and I disagree, and that's cool. Yeah, I think that what they're doing with these screens is really cool. There's some good stuff there. Okay, somebody says it looks Mercedes-esque. Yeah, it definitely does. And that's the thing I think you're finding is as these new incredibly large screens are making their ways into something like Mercedes, they're making it into Kias at the same time, like sometimes earlier. So there is that. Okay, somebody asked a question here. Can you list all the Kia models that have the wires in the windshield later on? Yeah, wires in the windshield at this point. There were some Kia Souls in 2020, none of them beyond that. I think, if not all the K5s, most K5s, and the Carnivals, all the Carnivals have it. At this point, that is the exhaustive list of that tungsten element in the windshield. So most, if not all K5s, I don't know if the EX K5 has it, but the GT or EX and above has it. GT line above, oh boy. The EX and above does, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, so that's that. Are you guys taking orders on the Carnival? Absolutely. Does the Sorento have self-leveling rear suspension on any trim? No, that's a good question. The Telluride is the only one that in the Kia lineup that has the self-leveling rear suspension in the rear. And in the Hyundai lineup, only the Palisade and the Santa Cruz would have that. So good question there. Incandescent interior on the Carnival? Yeah, the map lights in the EX Plus are the incandescent lights. I didn't, kind of surprised by that because the rest of the car is really top of the line. In the SX, you would have LED, so there is that. Okay, can you run in full EV mode with the AC on and the gas, or will the gas engine always come on? With the air conditioning on, you can definitely run in electric only mode. If you need heat, it's going to run the gasoline engine sometimes on the PHEV. So just keep in mind, one thing with the PHEV, a lot of people get stuck on, oh, I can't ever let that gasoline engine run. For just to make things as simple as I can, on a PHEV from Kia and Hyundai, allow that gasoline engine to run sometimes. Pay attention to the mileage you're getting, not so much the gasoline engine's on or off, because there's 100 reasons why it kind of protects itself and does that, but it also does let you do that. So air conditioning in the summer, yes, it can run on EV. Heat in the winter, it will tend to put on some of that heat in the gasoline engine in the winter, but pay attention to the mileage you're getting, not so much if the engine is running. So there we go. Does lane follow work well in the rain? My old car got confused with glare on the wet roads. Okay, this is a good question. So the very first time I used lane keep, lane follow at night in some of our more recent cars, it was a raining night. At night, I could barely see the lane markers myself, and the car picked them out and kept me centered. Surprisingly, it does work very, very well in most conditions. Snowy conditions where those lines are covered, yeah, you got to be a little aware there. It probably isn't going to help you there, but there is, it just, for whatever reason, it does a really good job picking that stuff out. Does the Carnival have the knob dial shifter? Carnival does not, only on the Sorento. Generally speaking, in Canada, they're only putting that on the EV-ish models, so PHEVs, and EVs, but not on this one. All right, we got 72 people on. We're hoping to make it to 60 likes, so you guys got to come through for me. If you want to have some fun with the algorithm, we can just wait for a second. Nobody hit the like button yet. Have some fun with the algorithm, and in 5 seconds, we're all going to hit the like button together, and you'll see all sorts of people will join us in the next 5 minutes. So everybody wait for the like button. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody hit the like button. We got 71 people on now. You guys watch. There'll be like 90 people on a little bit later if you guys hit that button. All right, jumping in here. Rear seats I like in both these cars. Captain's chairs are standard on the upper level Sorentos. You can get a bench seat on the 4-cylinder non-turbo model. You have a couple things that I like. You have these little blinds in the windows. This is on the Carnivals as well. The Carnival has them in 3 rows. This one only has them in the 2nd rows, or sorry, 2 rows. So the Carnival will have them in the middle row here and in the 3rd row here. This Sorento does not have them in the 3rd row there. So that's pretty cool. Down here, you've got the heated seats, which are heated seat bottoms in the rear seat. There's 2 levels of seat heaters. You do have a cup holder there in the door, and that's because you don't have the armrest in the middle here. If you had the armrest in the middle, you would also have armrest there. You still have armrests, but not that bench seat, which can turn into an armrest, if you know what I mean there. All right, so here we go. Taking a look down here, vents are very good, and there's a 12 volt and 115 volt and USB port on there. One thing I want to mention, because I'm in the PHEV, if you're buying a PHEV, the floor is just a slight little bit raised in this car compared to the gasoline car. So if you're comparing them side by side, let me just tilt this back a little bit for my comfort. You'll see that my legs are on the seat, but the floor is a little higher here, and that's to fit those batteries underneath. If you get the gasoline model, so the non-hybrid, non-PHEV, actually hybrid should be the same. I haven't seen the hybrid yet in Canada. But the PHEV has slightly raised floor. So when you don't have that, my legs will be a little bit more on the seat, whereas these are still, they're on the seat, but you know what I'm saying? The floor is just a little bit lower. All right, over here, a couple things I really like in the back seats, and you're gonna see the same thing on the Carnival. The driver's seats have USB ports in them, front seats there. So USB ports there, pocket here, another pocket here. If you have kids, these are plastic back seats, so they wipe clean with just a damp cloth. And then you also have the same thing on the passenger side there. Bottle holders in the door, cup holders in the door, the seats that I'm in recline. And the one thing you get on the Sorento that you don't get on a Carnival, but you can kind of get something similar, is you have this huge panoramic roof. Now on the Carnival, you can, in the SX model, which is a different model, have 2 sunroofs that are massive, and the second one in the back also opens. On this one here, of course, this back panel doesn't open, but you do get that glass. A lot of people would like to see that sunroof move down the trim line in the Carnival. Right now, they're making more Carnivals than they can sell, so you won't see that yet, but you will see that in the future. So this is middle row here. Let's go middle row to the Carnival now, because the Carnival, of course, is known for its space. This one happens to be a model with the, first of all, I just touched that button there to open the door. That was easier for me. Again, middle row seat, we can move all these around. We're just gonna look at my comfort right now, and this seat is gonna be too far back. So the driver's seat is set for me, and I'm gonna set this seat all the way back. So on both the models, this is all the way back, and that's gonna be important when I jump in the 3rd row seat. All right, jumping in here. There is a handle here. You can see I can grab that, which makes it nice and comfortable. Floor is probably a little bit lower here. You can see with this seat all the way back, lots of headroom, legroom. It's not an issue. I can create a lot more space for myself, or create a lot more space for the third row seat if I need to. But again, we're putting this all the way back for a reason, to show you what we can do with the rear seat space when I go back there. A couple things I really like. If you're a driver of this car and you just want to create some more space, let's say this seat's back too far, you can move it up for yourself, so mom can take control, or dad, or whoever wants to, or whoever's using that seat. So that's kind of nice. USB ports there. You have a grocery bag hook over there on this one. 115 outlet here, 12 volt outlet there. More USB ports here. And again, you still have the dual pocket, exact same thing, plastic back seats. This seat can really be moved a long ways. You'll have to see some of our other Carnival videos to see that. But I kind of like it. Again, one spot for a phone here, one spot for a phone there, cup holders each on each side. So that's kind of nice. And on this particular model, no heated seats in the middle row. On the SX model, you get true, and I'm telling you, lazy boy style seats. They are VIP lounge seating is what they're called. You can lay down like a lazy boy. They're as comfortable as your living room lazy boy. They're heated and ventilated in that vehicle. And that's one step up from this. And that's the one where you get the sunroof in here as well. Somebody did point out the LED lighting in the SX, you would have LED lighting. This one, you have incandescent lighting. That is pretty rare for Kia at this trim level. Normally in the vehicle over there, you would have LED lighting, and that's most of them. For sure the turbo on up. So anything we're looking at today over there on the Sorento, you'll have the LED lighting. All right. Want to keep going through here. We're going to go third row seat in the Carnival first, third row seat in the Sorento as well. And again, I'm 6 feet tall, so just so you have a reference point of how tall I am, we'll open this door here, take a look in here. So to get in there, very, very, very simple. All we're going to do is grab this and push it forward. Now you can take that middle row seat out if you don't need it. You can fold it forward, tumble it, you can go through the middle row, but we're just going to do it the way we're supposed to. Very easy. Let me just show you me getting in here. Very easy for me to get in here. Quite comfortable here. So again, the seat I'm behind right now, even if I was to pull that seat back, obviously I would have lots of legroom. But what we're going to do here is flip around the camera again. Remember, I put this middle row seat all the way back. Oops, I'm going to take the headrest out of my back here. There we go. So I've got good headrest space right here. My head is quite comfortable. There's lots of room there. My feet are just raised a little bit off the chair there. And now remember, over here, this is with this middle row seat all the way back. I had like a foot almost of knee room, or 8 inches or more of leg room in the middle row seat. So I can easily move this seat forward, but even in its full back position, 6 feet tall, I can sit back here. Now, I would prefer if it was pulled up a little bit, because you can see if I could stretch my legs out a little bit better, that makes it more useful. And but again, 6-footer fits back here pretty well. There are USB ports back here. Let's just show you the sides here. USB port back there, cup holders, little square holder for a phone or something like that out there. So that's kind of useful. Remember those little tabs that close on the window? You can do that back in the third row seat in this vehicle there. So that's come up and clips in there. And there are temperature ducts back here, ducting back there like that. And of course you have a temperature control. The middle row seat can control the rear seat passengers. There's also a camera up there that looks back at all the middle row and third row seats. So that little camera just works just like a backup camera, displays in your dash. You can call it up and you can view us back here if you want. So pretty good space. And again, I'll show you the awkward view of me getting out. How hard is it for a 6-footer to get out? I just walk out the door. It's literally, there's tons of space back there. It's gonna be a little different in the Sorento, a little bit tougher. So the Sorento seats to me are a little bit more temporary seats. They're not quite as good for a long trip for a 6-foot adult, but I don't think that matters to some of you who know what you're buying. So this one's pretty cool to put forward. Just tap the button there. Tap that button, everything moves forward for you. It's like getting in the back of a 2-door car. I used to do this in high school, so I've got tons of experience doing this. Now again, this seat here is as far back as it goes, and that's gonna be useful to know as well. Jumping in, here's how I get in. How hard is it to get in? Pretty simple. You can see I'm already in, no big deal. So again, if you have passenger seat forward at any level. Now, of course, it's tilted, but let's just lock it in. There we go. If it's forward like that, it's hard to show you. It's very dark back here. But let's just show you here. If I have my knees there, oh boy. There's a lot of knee space between there and there. So if you have this seat forward, I could still sit in the seat in front, and I do have plenty of knee space. But even full back, let me just climb in over here. Again, seat fully back. My knees are now touching this here. Now we could move this forward a little bit by pushing that button, and let's just put it into a spot where I could sit. Okay, so now we've created space back here. This is the furthest forward it can lock in place. That gives me tons of knee room. Now, one thing I'm not as comfortable with is my legs are up, right? They're not down on the seat. They're up off the seat, which again, as a 6-footer, if we're just going out for dinner, I don't mind. Up to an hour back here, sure. Family vacation, probably not. Now we're gonna leave this seat in front of me where it is so I can show you the furthest forward position. Again, still sitting behind the driver's seat. You can fit pretty comfortably. Back here, air conditioning controls only, so you've got a fan speed there, rear air, and of course you can fold down the second row seats when the trunk is there. There's a 12-volt port there, USB port right there, USB port on both sides, cup holders, tablet type holders, bottle holders, whatever. This is a little handle to get in. When you're getting in, you can kind of use that to wrap your hand around, wrap your fingers around there when you're getting in. Okay, so we're gonna get out now. How do we do that? We just tap this button right there. Seat flops forward. And again, I'm gonna jump back in. I'll show you me getting out of this one too. A little bit tougher to get out. Just have to be a little slower and careful. But again, an adult can get in. Let's quickly go show you the middle row seat with me there, just because we did move it forward. So again, how well do I fit right here? It looks a lot tighter, right? So let's just see. Jumping in here. 6-footer behind, oh, let's just move this chair out of the way so I can get the camera in place. All right, 6-footer, let's just tilt this back a tiny bit right there. So again, what do we steal? An inch or two of leg room right there. And then let's move this, well, there's me fully up. So again, same thing, move it back, steal 2 inches. I'm perfectly comfortable in this position, and I would be back there in the third row as well. I'd have enough knee room and leg room. So again, good space there. So there you go. There's the seating comparison. It's why you may want one over the other. I will say in general, you're gonna get better. Well, this is tricky to say. If you consider the plug-in hybrid and hybrid powertrain to not be technology, but to be powertrain. In general, in the Carnival, you're gonna get better technology for the dollar over there. Obviously, powertrain options are available in this car, and all-wheel drive options are available in this car. This is a front-wheel drive car only. And again, having said that, you have class-leading ground clearance in the Carnival, so you do have very good options to get good winter tires, stay up out of the snow, and have a good option of driving with that. This can tow 3,500 pounds. There are Sorentos that can tow 3,500 pounds if you get the turbo engine. Otherwise, it's 2,000 pounds for everybody else. Interestingly, they updated this information. In the past, it was, I believe, misinformation in one of our brochures saying that the 4-cylinder could tow 2,700 pounds. It is a 2,000 pounds. So it's 3,500 pounds tow capacity for the turbo engine, 2,000 pounds for everything else, to the best of my knowledge right now. And that's where we're at. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we're past the 32-minute mark. I'm gonna answer your questions, including some of the off-topic questions. We made it to 60 likes. We were gonna go for 65, so I don't know, that might be a stretch. But make sure you ask your questions. And again, we're not a review channel. We have these vehicles here. We're a dealership. We can pull them back in. You're gonna have more questions. All we did really today was talk about the seating comparisons in here. We didn't dig into a lot of the technology in either of these vehicles. So if you wanna know more about these vehicles, just hit that subscribe button, and we'll have a lot more information here of what's going on with these vehicles. And if you own these vehicles, feel free to hit subscribe, because we have a whole bunch of Kia and Hyundai classes that we do, which are 2 to 5 minute videos, sometimes 2 to 7 minutes, but usually 2 to 5 minute videos where we give you all kinds of tips on what's going on. All right, so, okay, what is the trunk space like in the Sorento? Oh yeah, so trunk space in the Sorento, we'll just quickly show you trunk space. We'll throw my teddy bear in both to make it really quickly, and that is something we tried to cover. That is where your Sorento is your compromise. If you have the seats up, it's pretty tight, right? It's just a week's worth of groceries are gonna be, you know, a bit of a stretch for depending on how big your family is. I could probably shop. Teddy bear is not going to fit. So teddy bear is my trunk measurement tool. He is not gonna fit in the trunk behind the third row seat. You could probably stick one thing of golf clubs back there. You can stack things high, but again, that's kind of why these are maybe temporary seats in some of these vehicles. If you fold the seats down, this trunk space is phenomenal. If you go to the Carnival, even with the rear seats up, power tailgate again on both, even with that rear seats up, you've just got immense space back here. The Carnival is known for being class leading in its space. And just so you know, guys, if you want a lot more trunk space, even trunk space behind the third row, and the Sorento is not impressing you right now, keep in mind the Telluride is still in the lineup. This is a smaller vehicle than the Telluride. The Telluride also seats 8 people, and it is a Carnival alternative. So when we throw Teddy in there, I kind of squished his belly together, but yeah, Teddy's belly is basically hidden right there. And somebody asked me the other day a really good question. Where's the spare tire on this car? Because usually it's out here at the back. Spare tire is under here in the middle. I don't know if we can see it there. I can't get my, oh yeah, you can kind of see it hanging down a little bit there. There is a little panel right here. Let's just have some fun. We'll show you real quick. That right there is a little plastic panel that if you pop that up, there's a little bolt. You put your tire iron in there, you spin that around, the spare tire lowers and you can pull it out. So good question the other day. Where's your spare tire in the Carnival? It is in the middle of the vehicle. And 2022 Sorentos also have a tire underneath it as well. All right, so there's trunk space. That was a good question. We'll try to get a few more questions in here before we get going. We want to be out of here for sure by the 40-minute mark. I try to get the content done by 30 minutes, so bear with me here as we zip through some questions. All right, will Kia make a PHEV Carnival? I don't know. I think they probably would consider it. The issue right now is they can't make enough Carnivals. They're trying to catch up to all of this. This car has been incredibly popular is one thing, and of course supply chain issues right now. So if they do make it, I think they're going to have to wait for the supply chain issues to start sorting themselves out and you guys to sort of, you know, them to be able to match production models or production capacity with demand. They won't introduce it when they can't keep up as is. But as they can start keeping up with demand, I think that's a possibility, but we'll see. Okay. Lane keep assist doesn't like the black lane markers in the 407 concrete section. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I haven't driven on that with these cars, so I bet you lane follow assist would work very well out there though still. Okay, Tucson or Sportage hybrid, depends. Like the new Sportage, current Sportage, the one out today, is a value proposition compared to the current Tucson. The next generation Sportage, the one that's already been introduced, same platform, same technology, so let's wait till it shows up and we'll talk about that one, which one I like better. Does the Carnival have the knob dial shift? We talked about that. Okay, not a whole lot of questions here. I think I got most of it. You sort of answered me on your earlier video, but what is the reason for the Sorento not having a 2022 model yet, other than the PHEV? Is there any word? Okay, so yeah, I don't have an official answer to this, so this is my opinion of why there's no 2022 Sorento out, other than there is a 2022 PHEV. This one is made in Korea, and my guess is that the Korean factory is on track to produce these essentially when they're able to. So the PHEV is made in Korea. The regular gasoline models of the Sorento, I haven't seen them yet. I don't have full specs even on them yet, or I think I might have full specs, but I haven't seen them yet. And this is just due to what's going on in the automotive market. If you go around to your dealers, like I said, the only Sorento and only Carnival I have on the lot right now are these test drive only models. If you need to see these vehicles, you have to order them right now. That's not unique to Kia, Hyundai, that's just the automotive industry. So my guess is that as they're meeting demand for the gasoline vehicles, they're trying to punch those out already, but the Korean one being just introduced, there's no pent-up demand because they just introduced it, so that makes it easier to meet these demand, relatively on time. I'm betting that they'll probably show up at the same time at this point. They're all order only, but that's why, in my opinion, we're still seeing the PHEs for 2022, but we haven't seen the 2022 regular gas models. So again, that's my opinion. And I think it's just they're trying to fill the demand of the ones they've already planned out. Everybody in the automotive industry has had to lower their forecast for what they can produce this year. Okay. It was already on prod before the full brand release. I'm not sure what that means. What are the chances of Kia making EV van? I'd say high. Keep in mind, Kia's new EV platform can be adapted. It's like a skateboard type platform, so it can be widened, it can be lengthened. So this van probably won't be converted to an EV, but their new EV platform, a lot of the safety, crash stuff, everything is built in this platform, and it can be widened or lengthened. And as it's widened and lengthened, it adds more batteries for a larger vehicle. So their new EV platform can absolutely handle a different body style. It can make anything from a sports car, in theory a convertible, that would be cool, up to a minivan, up to an SUV. So expect some groundbreaking vehicles in the coming decade or even less on these new EV platforms that are coming out. So there we go. Okay, my friend just bought a Veloster Turbo. What is a car like that in Kia? Would a Forte GT be maybe? The Veloster N is the only Veloster they still make. I'm having that vehicle back in here tomorrow. We're going to do a technology review on that. Veloster N is not a Veloster. Veloster N is much more a race car, But yeah, regular Veloster Turbo, certainly Forte 5 GT would be in the ballpark of that car. Something to consider there. All right, if one more person wants to hit like, we'll get to 70 likes. No pressure if you can't do that. I totally get it. If I haven't earned it, don't give it to me. Tomorrow, like I said, we do a live video like this every single day. Tomorrow's the Veloster N. Again, we're going to do a technology review on that car. We're not going to compare it to a Porsche. We did that last week and got all sorts of Porsche people upset because the Porsche people didn't actually watch the video. That's the short answer. So there is that. Don't live in Brantford, but just put in an order for the Carnival because of you. Thank you. Cool. Hopefully, if you're near Brantford, you put it in with us. So there we go. Oh, we do have 70. Yes, somebody says we do have 70. We have 75 likes. All right, so we do this live every day, guys. I want to thank you all for joining us. Again, November's a big month. I've got a surprise coming hopefully mid-month. I haven't figured out the date of that, but I've got a surprise coming for you guys mid-month, which will be a fun little video series. And then again, LA Auto Show this month, and we've got a lot of other stuff coming in. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe. Thanks everybody for watching. It's been fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.